My first book sold exactly 17 copies, and I'm pretty sure 16 of them were to my mom using different credit cards.
The 17th was me. I bought my own book just to, make sure the link worked. It was brutal because that book wasn't just a book. It was my soul. It was a year of my life distilled into 60,000 words. It was every early morning before my day job, hunched over a keyboard with a pot of coffee that tasted more like desperation than caffeine. It was every weekend I said no to friends because I had to make my word count.
I had this vision, right? This dream of holding my own book, of seeing it on a shelf, of people I'd never met reading my ideas, my story. And when I finally hit publish, I felt this incredible surge of, terror. But also excitement. I'd done it. I was an author. And then, crickets. The sales dashboard was a flatline. My grand masterpiece, the thing I had sacrificed a year for, had landed with the impact of a single feather in a hurricane. The self-doubt that followed was suffocating. Maybe I just wasn't a good enough writer. Maybe my story was boring. Maybe I just didn't have it, that magical, elusive quality that separates real authors from, guys who sell 17 books to their mom. For years after that, I believed the narrative. I believed that to be a real author, you had to suffer. You had to bleed onto the page. That the struggle was the point. The blank page wasn't a bug, it was a feature of the creative process. Sound familiar? It's this weird, romanticized idea we have about writing. That it has to be this lonely, agonizing journey.
And then I started hearing whispers about writers using AI, artificial intelligence. And my first reaction, my gut reaction, was probably the same as yours. That's cheating.
It felt like a betrayal of the craft. It felt like commissioning a robot to paint your masterpiece. Soulless. Inauthentic. A shortcut for people who couldn't do the real work. I was a purist. A skeptic. I was also completely and totally wrong. And the moment I realized how wrong I was, it didn't just change how I write books. It changed my entire life. And I believe it's about to change the entire world of publishing forever. So, let's just get this out of the way. Let's do some myth-busting. Because the fears I had are probably the same ones bouncing around in your head right now. Myth number 1, AI is here to replace the author. This is the big one. The sci-fi nightmare. Skynet, but for novelists. We imagine a world where you just type, "Write me a bestseller about a vampire detective," and a supercomputer spits out a finished book, leaving human creativity obsolete. That's not how this works. At all. Let me ask you this. Does a calculator replace a mathematician? Does a power saw replace a carpenter? Does a digital camera replace a photographer? No. They are tools. Powerful tools, yes. But they are amplifiers of human skill, not replacements for it. AI is the ultimate co-pilot. You are still the captain. You set the destination. You chart the course. The AI is your navigator, your first mate, your research assistant who never sleeps. It handles the grunt work, so you can focus on the part that only a human can do, the vision, the emotion, the soul. You're still the artist, the storyteller. The AI is just a new, incredibly powerful kind of paintbrush. Which brings me to the second myth. Myth number 2, AI writing is generic, robotic, and has no soul. I believed this one 100%. I'd seen some of the early AI-generated text. It was clunky, repetitive. It sounded like a badly translated instruction manual. But that's because most people don't know how to use the tool.
There's a simple rule in the world of AI. Garbage in, garbage out. If you give it a lazy, generic prompt, you will get lazy, generic output. But if you learn how to talk to it, if you feed it your unique voice, your detailed outline, your complex characters, your specific worldview, magic happens. It starts to sound like you. It adopts your style, your cadence. It weaves in your themes. Because it's not creating from a void, it's creating from the detailed, human-crafted blueprint you gave it. The soul doesn't come from the AI. The soul comes from you. The AI is just the instrument that plays the music you wrote. My big aha moment came on a Tuesday night. I was staring at a blank page, trying to start book number 2. The trauma of book 1 was still fresh. I could already feel the dread, the pressure, the impending burnout.
On a whim, I opened up an AI platform, the one I use now, called Unstuck. I was so skeptical. But instead of asking it to write a chapter, I did something different. I fed it my entire, painstakingly detailed outline. I gave it my character Bible, their fears, their dreams, their funny little quirks. I gave it a sample paragraph I had written to show it my style. And then I held my breath and I asked it to draft the first chapter based on my instructions. What came back wasn't perfect. It wasn't a finished chapter ready to publish. But it was a start. A damn good one. It had followed my plot points. It had captured the essence of my main character. The tone was about 80% there. It was like an incredibly talented, incredibly fast assistant had taken all my notes and built the first draft for me. There was no blank page. There was just a canvas with the sketch already drawn. My job was now to paint. To add the color, the texture, the nuance, the soul. To edit, to refine, to make it truly mine. And instead of dread, I felt excitement. For the first time in years, I felt the pure joy of creation again, without the crushing weight of starting from zero. Here's the best metaphor I can think of. Writing a book is like driving across the country. Let's say, from New York to Los Angeles. The old way, the purest way, is like driving with a folded paper map from 1985. You know the destination, but the journey is fraught with wrong turns, unexpected dead ends, and you spend half your time pulled over on the side of the road, completely lost, wondering why you even started the trip. Using AI is like having a GPS. You still have to drive the car. You still have to feel the road. You still choose the music, decide where to stop for lunch, and you can take a scenic detour anytime you damn well please. The GPS doesn't drive for you. But it eliminates the frustration. It shows you the most efficient path. It warns you about traffic jams ahead, which, in writing, is another name for writer's block. It lets you focus on the joy of the drive, not the anxiety of getting lost. You're still the driver. You're still on your journey. You just get to your destination faster, happier, and with a lot more gas left in the tank. And that's when it hit me. The single most important benefit of all this. The future of publishing with AI assistance isn't about robots taking over. It's about more humans finally getting to tell their stories. Think about it. How many brilliant books are trapped inside people's heads right now because they don't have 500 hours to spare? Or because they're amazing storytellers but terrible at grammar and structure? Or because the sheer terror of that blinking cursor on a blank page is enough to stop them cold? AI tears down those barriers. It democratizes the ability to create. It closes the gap between the incredible idea in your mind and the finished book in your hand. It means the single parent with a groundbreaking nonfiction idea can get their first draft done. It means the person with dyslexia who has an epic fantasy world built in their imagination can finally bring it to life. It means you, with that story you've been dying to tell for years, can finally do it. After my discovery, I didn't just finish that second book. I wrote it in a fraction of the time, and it was infinitely better than my first, because I could pour all my energy into the creative parts, the story, the dialogue, the emotion, instead of the mechanical grunt work. That book actually sold. And the next one sold even more. I went from being a failed author to building a community of authors, all using these new tools to bring their ideas to life faster than they ever thought possible. The future of publishing is brighter, more diverse, and more human than ever before, because we finally have a tool that helps us get out of our own way.
This isn't just a theory for me anymore, it's my entire process. And I'm documenting every step of the way. If you want to see how I'm actually using AI to write full books and connect with other authors doing the same thing, check out my school group. It's free to join. You'll also get access to the tool I personally use, instaauthor.com. Links are in the description. See you inside.